The NBA, you know, with the way basketball has its rules set up.
Decorated past.
With Tim Donnie.
That's right.
Going to federal prison.
Yeah.
Cooking games for it. In the way you see some games go, and some fouls you've seen called and then not called, and then out of nowhere, something that could be a phantom call is covered up by a commentator. Goes, that's a good call. It's like, no, everybody disagrees. It just kind of move along. They are constantly fighting that, I feel like. The NBA will constantly fight that because the way their game is set up, the way the rules are set up, and what Tim Donnie had done in the past. And Tim Donnie said that there's a lot of other refs out there potentially doing the same damn thing. He even broke down some games. And when you're gambling and losing on games, it's very easy to go like, oh, I just got fucked. Oh, I just got fucked. You're doing that if it isn't even something that seems to be pretty legit. So that whole convo happening on air led to my guy Roosh's tweet here. Roosh put a tweet out and he said Steve Javey talking about referees using selective enforcement basically proves and validates fans who feel intentionally cheated by refs. Ooh. That was from Roosh Williams. Roosh is
the host of the Noble and Roosh show. Who big Rockets, Houston Rockets guy, based out of Texas.
So I feel like he feels like the Rockets have been fucked in the past, but didn't James Harden kind of utilize the refs in the Houston Rockets organization for some time? But that was fascinating to watch. This basketball series is going to be good, though, because the refs are going to make it good. Ain't that right, Connor?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to go 7, and I believe Roosh probably is jaded because there's that Chris Paul stat when Scott Foster, I believe, refs a game. You know, he's like 0-14, and I believe a few of those were with the Rockets.
Hold on. Last night there was another one of those with somebody.
With the Celtics. The Celtics are like 3-12 straight up when one of the guys who was reffing is reffing. But there was also, did you see the Jaylen Brown foul they called where Gary Payton II went up for a layup, missed? Jaylen Brown didn't even touch him, and they called it a foul.
And then look how confident they are with their hands. You know, and then they just walk right to the scorer's table or whatever, and everybody bitches about every single call. So it's almost like the boy who cried wolf type situation with the players, because the players are going to be pissed about every call in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, I can understand because if you foul, if you foul.
That's right.
So I could see how the players could potentially get pissed in that whole thing. But the referees, especially with these primetime games, and it is the championship, and it's the finals, always going to be a topic of conversation. But last night couldn't be right because you guys just got your asses beat. What?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jordan Poole hit a
You guys
shot.
got your asses beat.
A lot of Celtics excuses here.
Klay Thompson couldn't even shoot a basketball last night. They still beat it. What?
Yeah, we scored 14 points in the third quarter, kind of just like yesterday. And then also Jordan Poole hit a 3-point shot from 39 feet out. I mean, they played very well.
Yeah, but I seen Jordan Poole in warm-ups actually throw a ball up, shoot one, catch it, shoot one. Like when people take bong hits, chug a beer, then they blow out the bong hit afterwards. That's basically what Jordan Poole did. Threw up a ball, shot a 3, caught the 3, shot that 3. Boom.
So they didn't show the full video. You couldn't really see it, but I believe he threw the ball up, shot the ball, hit that ball. That ball goes in the hoop, gets the ball back, and then shoots a 3 and hits it.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that's what that video was, but they didn't.
He should be doing that. Listen, when he retires, that needs to be the quarter halftime show.
Yeah.
Just go out and do ball tricks out there.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
I think the conversation we wanted to have early about it was basically Van Gundy and Steve Javey or Javi, whoever's Disney, ESPN, or ABC's ref expert, talking about the potential second technical that Draymond Green could have received, but he didn't receive. And then Steve Javey gets on there and he says, well, when you look at the time, it's the finals, game 2, the score. Why would you want Draymond to get ejected after getting a tech? Which, by the way, all sounds great, but I think a lot of people took that and were like, see, refs pick and choose when they're going to do what they're going to do. Is that always going to be a conversation around the NBA? And how do players deal with that type of stuff?
I think we as players, we've known that. We know which referees, how they call games. I mean, the smart players know these things. They know, we first, the referees by name. That's one of the first things that your OGs and your vets tell you when you get in the league. You learn the referees by name and you talk to them and speak to them when you at the beginning of the games and things like that. But I mean, over time, you kind of get a feel for the different referees, how they call things, how they call, as far as techs and physicality. You get a feel for that as players.
So whenever you hear a guy say that they're picking and choosing basically when things happen, like everybody just knows in the playoffs, it's a different breed of basketball than during the regular season. And especially in the finals, the refs are just going to be a little bit more loose until they're not, by the way, right?
I think it's a situation where you obviously, I think, first of all, if you're being honest here, what happened, I think it should have been a technical.
Okay.
I love Draymond, and I know that that's how he plays, and I respect the way he plays, and I respect what he brings to the table. And by the way, I think him playing that way is what gave them that game last night. He came in there and he put his fingerprints all over that game. I don't care what any statistics say about him. The way he played, the mentality, the way he told that line and possibly could have won over. But my thing is that even that being his identity, he's smart enough to know, and he's smart enough to know that he's cost his team in the finals before by being, eliminated or pulled from action and stuff like that. So I mean, just that one situation with Jaylen Brown where it was the pushing and shoving and that little bit, when you have a technical, he has to be smarter than that, because I don't think he gets that whistle if they're in Boston and the crowd is booing and reacting. He may not get that same call.